Well, thank you so much for joining us here on 13 News at noon. I'm Karen Campbell here with Sean Ash. And yes, we've been tracking snow in this forecast. It seems to just be coming and coming and not going away.
Not right now. And you know, this morning, again, proof positive that you don't need 3-4 inches of snow to make the roads messy. We had a coating of snow, temperatures in the low teens, people driving too fast, and voila, some 200 slide-offs and crashes around Marion County alone. So let me set the stage for what's going to be happening the remainder of the afternoon. So I've got you in Morgan County. This is near Martinsville, I-69 here. We're still seeing a little bit of snow, and there's going to be some flurries and a little light snow. This has been a little more persistent there. And what's going on, the cold air is actually hitting some of the smokestacks on the south and southwest side of Marion County. And it's called industrial effect snow, and that's what's going on. Similar to lake effect, except it's the particles from the smokestacks, if you will, on the south and southwest side of Marion County. That's why it's been a little more persistent there. Otherwise, it's just going to be some flurries for the next several hours. Roads really shouldn't be that bad. We're watching to the west, circled that disturbance that's coming in, and it will switch the flip here, flip the switch, if you will, here this evening. And we're expecting snow to become widespread by the time we get toward 8-9 o'clock. You'll see it on Future Track 13. It is going to be an efficient snowfall. It's going to be widespread overnight and very early tomorrow morning. And though these snow amounts aren't going to, dazzle you, a 1/2 inch to 2 inches is going to be a little more than what we had this morning. Bottom line is we fully expect the roads are going to be slick overnight tonight, early Thursday morning. I would expect we'll have some more school delays tomorrow morning and again Friday morning because of sub-zero wind chills. We have the warm up. We're timing it out when we could hit 50 in the forecast in a few minutes.
All right. Thanks, Sean. This afternoon, we now know the name of a man killed in a quadruple shooting on the city's northeast side. The Marion County coroner identified that victim as 20-year-old Cameron Clay. Now, 3 other people were also hurt. At last check, those victims were in stable condition. Our Logan Gay talked with family of one of these survivors who says they're experiencing a flood of emotions right now.
Family members of one of the gunshot victims tell me they're thankful their loved one is alive and is recovering, but they tell me things in that house will never be the same. According to police, 2 of the 4 men shot were found inside this home on the northeast side, and investigators believe 1 or more suspects ran from the scene. This woman, who asked to speak anonymously, says her great uncle owns the home and is one of the people injured. She says the home is the gathering spot for family functions and has been in the family for more than 45 years.
It's sad to have somebody in that house laying on the floor, Like I said, it'll never be the same.
Police are still investigating the motive behind the shooting, but she believes it was an attempted robbery.
It's a blessing my uncle's alive, because they came to take him out.
This woman is a close friend to the 69-year-old man. She lives a few houses away. She says she was making breakfast when she heard the shooting started.
All of a sudden, just mayhem, a bunch of gunfire.
The bullets going through her home, whizzing by her and her family inside.
You get on the floor and you hope that it stops. And you pray.
This video she shared with 13 News shows her walls riddled with bullet holes. She says many of the neighbors like herself have lived in this neighborhood for years. And it's sad to see their street become a crime scene, littered with dozens of evidence markers.
I'm not a military girl, but I am from the 46218.
She says her friend didn't deserve this.
He loves his family and his friends. He's 70 years old.
As they wait for more information about the suspect, these women are just grateful their loved one is still alive.
I'm just blessed that he's okay, and I'll just pray for the ones that didn't make it.
In Indianapolis, Logan Gay, 13 News.
This afternoon, we are working to learn more about a fire on the city's south side. We first told you about this as breaking news on 13 Sunrise. Take a look. This was the scene early this morning near Raymond and Meridian Streets. It happened around 5:45. Crews worked for an hour to contain the fire at this vacant home. The fire chief tells us someone drove through the scene over hoses, barely missing 2 firefighters. That caused damage to some critical equipment estimated at $75,000. We've also learned there was a fire at that same home last year. In Anderson, fire investigators are working to determine the cause of a deadly house fire there. Firefighters were called to a home yesterday near Rabel and Nicole Avenue. When firefighters got there, they learned a 72-year-old man was trapped inside. That man was found in the kitchen. Unfortunately, he did not survive. Firefighters say his grandson was also inside the home, but was able to make it out. Well, now to an update to a deadly hit and run we first told you about yesterday at noon. It happened just before 8 a.m. on Michigan and Illinois Street in downtown Indy. Police say a driver killed 46-year-old Andrea Gibbs when she was crossing the street. That driver left the scene. Co-workers say Gibbs was an employee at a nearby office building heading into work at the time. Investigators say several people saw that crash. If you have any information that can help, you should call IMPD or Crime Stoppers. This afternoon, Judge Francis Gull is denying a motion by Richard Allen's defense team to re-examine his conviction in the Delphi murders case. Last month, the defense detailed 4 alleged errors they said were important enough to overturn the guilty verdict. In December, Allen was sentenced to 130 years in prison for the murders of Libby German and Abby Williams. The 2 girls were found dead near the Monon High Bridge Trail more than 8 years ago. We've been following the Delphi murders every step of the way. On Friday night, NBC's Dateline is taking a closer look at the case, and you will hear from many people who couldn't speak publicly about the investigation until now. Join us Friday night for a 2-hour Dateline special on the Delphi murders, airing from 9 to 11 right here on WTHR. At the State House, a bill banning transgender women from playing on women's college teams in Indiana is moving forward. Supporters of the bill say it's about protecting women in sports. Those against say it's about politics. The bill appears to have a lot of people supporting it. It passed out of the House by a vote of 71 to 25, and it will now head to the Senate. That is where it will go before a Senate committee. And state senators will hear testimony on it and could make changes to the measure. Well, community leaders are asking lawmakers to rethink legislation, possibly moving funds away from IPS. The African American Coalition of Indianapolis hosted an event at the State House. They say legislation being considered by lawmakers could have some devastating consequences on public education, especially on Black students. The proposed legislation would take away property tax funds from IPS moving forward and split it with charter schools.
Are the changes being proposed providing a solution and a gateway for all students to merit excellence and innovation? Or are they disrupting an already fragile ecosystem that needs more support and collaboration than ever before?
At the end of the day, my single biggest concern is that we, those schools, those charter schools, that again, in some instances, are literally have more kids in it than the district schools, are receiving no local property tax dollars. I don't know the justification or the explanation for that.
Community members question how that could benefit students. A new housing development plan is on the table for Noblesville, and it is a big one. It could bring thousands of homes to the city. The Noblesville Area Plan Commission just gave unanimous support for the project. It's called Gatewood Lakes. The development is expected to go before the full city council next week. The mayor tells us it would be the biggest residential project in the history of Noblesville, going up between 146th and 156th. More than 1,000 acres of living space, retail space, and green space. Last night, the mayor talked about the next steps in the project and what this means for residents.
We need to take into consideration the folks that have lived here their entire life and what that does to them.
Well, Mayor Chris Jensen says this is years in the making. It will take years to build. He's talking maybe 7 to 10. We'll keep you posted on the progress.